Bam, ba, bam, bam, bam. Bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam, bam, ba, bam, bam. If you're deciding to play ranked this season in Season 19 of Apex Legends, then you must watch this video. In this video, I'll be going over the most accurate Apex Legends Season 19 tier list video, coming from a player who has hit Apex Predator this season on both console and PC. And unlike other YouTubers out there that make these tier list videos without really knowing what they're talking about, since they haven't played these legends, I have gone from bronze to masters with every one of these legends in season 16 and 17, and so I definitely have a solid grasp on what I'm talking about since I've spent so much time playing each one of these legends in ranked. So if you're struggling with ranked this season but you're looking to make your way into masters or any rank that you desire, sit back and take notes because this is the best Apex Legends tier list for season 19. Without further ado, let's get into it. Alright y'all, welcome back. So let's get started with the legend tier list for season 19. One thing that I did want to note and remind you guys of, as I said in the introduction, I've hit Predator this season on both PC and console, and so I've been able to play on both of the platforms, and there are a lot of stark similarities between the legend meta that exists this season for both of these platforms. And so that's important to note. Despite whatever platform that you're playing on, this video will apply to you. Again, this is a ranked tier list. So keeping that in mind, I want to go over my criteria for this video for you guys, and essentially listing the troll legends, the legends that do not exist in this meta, and the legends that you should definitely stay away from because they'll make your life a lot more difficult playing these legends and facing off against the meta legends. And so we'll start from the bottom and work our way upwards. Tier D will be those troll legends that you should not play at all and you should try to avoid at all costs because it will make your life difficult when trying to rank up, especially for these promo trials which force you to win a game from platinum and beyond. And so using stronger legends will obviously become advantageous for you and make your life a little easier, and that's why this video is important. More important than other videos that have been put out. I don't see any Apex Preds making this video. I'm just saying, you want the sauce? I'll give you the sauce for free. Hit that like and subscribe button and comment if you agree with me or not. Alright, sorry. I be yapping. Sorry, chat. I'm a certified yapper. Either way, we'll start off with the D tier legends as I make my way through. Legends that you should not be using. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're intrinsically weak, but for this season, don't play them. And as I see the first one, you should probably avoid a legend like Crypto this season. Although he has a lot of efficacy towards his team play, and I don't think that Crypto's a weak legend inherently. This season, you will not see many people playing Crypto, and that's not without reason. This is a legend you definitely want to stay from, and in fact, there are way better recon legends for you to play if you want to get that recon value out of your legend. This season, Crypto is not it. But again, and I don't want to hear this in the comments, this does not mean that they are intrinsically weak. But this season, there are better legends for you to be playing, and those legends will hopefully lead to higher RP gains for you guys. You dig? Okay, and so that's Crypto on D tier right here. As we make our way along, try to do this a little quick. There won't be too many D tier legends. I feel like a lot of legends are a little bit viable, more so than other seasons, since they've done a really good job with balancing out the legends. But from a 15 times Apex Predator, don't go Crypto. Anybody else that I see immediately, yeah, we will have Seer here as well. Seer is definitely a D tier legend, a troll legend, if you will. Again, which is crazy for me to admit, especially considering that he was such a strong legend for so long. But they've nerfed him into the ground, rightfully so, and he has little to no viability in this current meta. And by the way, this current meta is definitely ability based. And team base as well. And so with Seer's recent nerfs, you won't get a lot of that team play like he used to provide, and you definitely won't get a lot of abilities that can change the outcome of these fights and get you to these endgame situations. And so for those reasons, I'll avoid both Crypto and Seer this season. They are troll picks. Moving forward, if you guys know me now and you guys watch my video, then you know how weak I think Wattson is, especially considering, again, in the same controller class, how much stronger those other legends are compared to Wattson. Wattson, in my opinion, is a troll pick. Anytime I see a Wattson, that's an easy engagement for me and my teammates that I play with. And she does a poor job at controlling an area. She does well in the endgame situations, And if you can get yourself to those end game scenarios, then that's perfect for you. But with a legend like Watson, she's not a fighting legend. And like I said, in this season is a very aggressive legend meta. So to play a legend like Watson that is intrinsically passive, remembering that she is good for endgame situations, but to get to the endgames, you want to take fights, you want to get some KP, you want to do what you can to increase your bonus, which will lead to higher RP gains more consistently. And Watson, in my opinion, unless you're just going to take the uber passive route and rat your way to zone every single game, avoiding fights, then that might be a suitable legend for you. Because again, she is good for those endgame situations. But will she lead to more consistent RP games to get you into the rank that you believe that you deserve? Probably not. And so for those reasons, I'll put her in D tier. Alright, moving forward into the C tier category now. Again, there wasn't going to be a lot of D tier legends. Probably a lot of C tier legends. First, we'll start with Ashe. Ashe is just a very mediocre legend, through and through. No matter what legend meta exists, no matter what they do to her, she really will not provide you and your teammates any sort of viability when it comes to fighting, when it comes to getting to endgame, when it comes to rotating. Her portals are okay. I feel like it's a little buggy sometimes, and it can help you, but it's very situational. And again, you will not see a lot of Ashes being played this season, and that's not without reason. Avoid these troll legends. Avoid these weaker legends and play the legends that I'll soon get to that are S tier or A tier, and I promise you, you will gain more points consistently. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty as I've done in the past, but for these reasons, I'll put her in C tier. Another C tier legend we'll have is Ballistic, and to be honest, you can make an argument that Ballistic is D tier, definitely a troll legend. You will not see too many Ballistics being played this season at all. But if you and your teammates are a bit more aggressive and you guys love to take fights, he's obviously a good fighting legend based on his abilities. But there's nothing insanely important about Ballistic that would require you guys to start playing him. And if you are playing him, you should stop playing him and play a different legend, a more powerful legend. Like I said, that's more suitable for rank this season. For that reason, I'll have to put him in C tier. Another C tier legend we'll have right now for this season is Valkyrie. With all the nerfs that she's received over the last year, and with the addition of evac towers, there's essentially little to no need for Valkyries on your team. I would prefer that you guys play a much stronger legend and utilize those evac towers for your rotations, just like Valkyrie would use her ultimate for rotations. It's kind of a waste of a pick, again, playing a much stronger legend and using the evac towers to maneuver throughout the map the same way that Valkyrie could would be a lot better for you and your RP gains. In my opinion, of course. This is all in my opinion. And so I'll have to put her in C tier. Another legend that I'll have in the C tier category is Octane. And that might be a surprise to you guys. Again, does not mean that he is weak inherently. I think there can be a lot of viability, especially for solo queuing with Octane, because of his movement. And movement is great for solo queuers out there. But again, with such an aggressive ability-based meta going on right now, a destructive ability-based legend meta right now, Octane provides almost no value for your team. And he's definitely a selfish legend. Considering the only type of team play that you do get out of him would be his jump pad, which again is weak in and of itself. Will Octane help get you to these end games? Will he help get you and your teammates more kills? Will he help support your teammates? Not too much. And the same logic exists for all of these legends so far. And so, again, I'll have to put Octane C tier. I think there are a lot better legends for you guys to be focusing on this season for ranked. And the same goes for Vantage as well. You get a lot of value out of a legend like Vantage for yourself. But how much value does Vantage give for your team as a whole, whether you're solo queuing or 3-stacked? Not too much. And again, I think she's a pretty fun and strong legend, especially for solo queuing. But with the current legend meta that exists right now, Vantage is definitely going to be overpowered, therefore rendered useless. And so I would avoid a legend like Vantage and Octane for those reasons. And so that will conclude the C tier category for me, I think, right now. Moving on to B tier. And this is where we'll start to see a lot more viability and the legends that I'll start to recommend that you guys should start integrating into your teammates' comp. Your legend composition is what comp means. So this is where legends start to get a lot stronger. B tier you can definitely get away with. Anything lower than that are the legends that you should more or less avoid. B tier you can make an argument whether you should avoid them or play them. But legends that are definitely stronger than the C tier and D tier legends. And so starting off in the B tier, we'll go with Caustic, since I see him right there. Caustic is a strong legend, especially if you're in and around buildings. He could definitely delay and stall enemies' fights, third parties. With his controller ability, he can help locate where the rings will go towards the end of the game, so that can help you position yourself better for those end game scenarios. With his abilities, with his ultimate, with his caustic traps, again, he's definitely a fighting legend, so you can easily be aggressive with the caustic on your team. But in those moments where you're not in a building, in those moments where you're roaming throughout, rotating, being caught in the wide open, which happens more often than you might think, especially with these maps like Broken Moon and Stormpoint that are so wide open, that's where you'll start to see Caustic's weakness a little bit, therefore putting him in the B tier and not anything higher than that. Another legend that I like to put in the B tier category is Fuse and Maggie. I kind of look at them one and the same. Both very aggressive and annoying legends to fight that are very good for attacking. But when it comes to getting to the end game, when it comes to supporting your teammates, when it comes to revivability, when it comes to defense, both of them are lackluster in that regard. And so that's why I put them there. If you're a very good and smart Fuse main, same with Mad Maggie, you can help your teammates a lot when it comes to fighting because they are so aggressive. But if you don't find yourself really good with fighting and taking a lot of fights, then you're not really using Maggie and Fuse in the way that they are. And so I would recommend against that, in my opinion. But in the right hands, Fuse and Maggie could easily be A tier. But for the bulk of you guys that are playing this game trying to figure out what legends to main, I'll keep them in the B tier for now. Not legends that I would definitely recommend, but you could, assuming that you play them correctly, get away with playing them this season. Next we'll have Lifeline. This is important because this logic will exist for other support characters as well. But a legend like Lifeline, who's a part of the support class legends can never be lower than B tier in any meta, in my opinion, because that's how important and insanely powerful their support passive is. The ability to craft banners to get your teammates back into the game. We all know no matter how good you guys are or how bad you guys are, the ability to craft your teammates' banners, get them back into the game if a game goes south, prolong your life as a team, therefore making your way into higher placements can help reduce negative RP loss and maximize RP potential. So for that reason, I'll put Lifeline here at B tier because she is weak and a legend that you really wouldn't want to have on your team. But because she is a support legend and she has that ability, you can get away with playing her and nobody's going to cry about it. The difficulty behind Lifeline is that she is very, very good for supporting, but not so good for offensive or even defensive strategies. But she can get you and your teammates back into the fight with her revive ability, with her reset ability, with her drone and whatnot. And so a good Lifeline player can definitely make an impact. But again, for the majority of you guys, would I 100% without a doubt recommend a Lifeline on your team? No, of course not. Not this season. Not with all the abilities that are being utilized this season. As you'll see in the S tier, you'll see what I mean. So we'll put her in the B tier. And for that exact same reason, we'll put Mirage right next to her. Now, if this was a 3 strikes game mode, these two legends are going to be S tier, but there's no more 3 strike game modes. And also, if you guys didn't know, Apex recently made a tweet today. And so if you're watching this video right now, this might be cool news to you. They're bringing 3 strikes game mode back tomorrow, which would be Thursday, November 24th or 23rd, which is Thanksgiving. So they're bringing that game mode back tomorrow. Those two legends are obviously great for that, but for ranked, we'll keep them in the B tier for now. Next in the B tier, I think I'll put Rampart here. You are starting to see a lot more Ramparts being played this season, way more than Wattson mains right now. And again, because she does a much better job at controlling an area with her walls that she puts down. And they are much better for delaying enemies' pushes into whatever building that you're holding, because you could put those doors. you could put those walls right behind doors, and it takes a lot of time to be able to destroy those doors and then destroy those rampart walls, making her a very viable pick for the endgame situation, which is something that you guys should always be striving for, making it to endgame. But again, she is a one-dimensional legend that does the defensive job extremely well, but does the offensive job pretty poorly. So when you get into these open field fights that are chaotic, when you have several teams pushing you or focusing you, she is good for stalling and staying put. But she can easily be caught in the wide open and end up selling you and your teammates points. And unless you have a lot of practice with Rampart, I would recommend playing somebody else. But again, you could also make the argument that she is a very strong legend for this meta right now. And you could potentially put her in the A tier category. But for right now, again, I'm thinking broadly. I'm going to place Rampart in B tier right now based on what I've seen, based on what I fought against on both platforms. Rampart, B tier. And I'm going to go with a little bit of a curveball right now. Why? Because I can. I'll put Wraith as B tier as well. You will see a lot of Wraiths being played, but that's always the case because she's a day one legend that most people love, that has a cool look to her, and people like that. And she does have some viability, especially with her portals. But there are a lot of Wraith mains that don't know how to play her properly. And if you don't know how to play Wraith properly, you are selling your team's games. For those, of course, that do know how to play her properly, she can be pretty important for your teammates as an entry fragger and kind of as a support legend. Again, a rotational device that you'll be able to use using her portals. And so if you have spent a lot of time with her and you know the fundamentals of Wraith and how to play and maneuver around with her, she can be stronger, and I would definitely put her in the A tier. But again, broadly speaking, I'll have to put her in B tier right now. If she wasn't a day one legend and she came out next season exactly how she is right now, you probably wouldn't see a lot of people playing her. But regardless, I think that you can get away with a legend like Wraith. But right now in this meta, it's such a strong ability, destructive base meta. I'd recommend somebody else if you're looking to gain more RP more consistently. So we'll put Wraith there in B tier. And now moving on to A tier. I think I'm doing this perfectly so far in my mind, in my opinion. For A tier, we'll start off with Bloodhound. Bloodhound is like the new version of Seer. So if you loved Seer so much over the last few seasons prior, Bloodhound kind of gives you that same effect. Since Bloodhound has been arguably buffed since their last update, I believe last season they made some changes to Bloody. Bloodhound is great because they're a recon legend, so you can scan those beacons and figure out exactly the position of everybody on the map to help you rotate safely to the next zone. So you get a lot of team play viability out of that. Bloodhound scans are very good for opening up fights or even stalling the enemy's push. You wouldn't necessarily think that to begin with, but with Bloodhound scans, it kind of freezes the enemies for a little bit since their location is being revealed in that moment. And especially considering with this Bangalore meta, we haven't talked about Bang yet, but with this heavy Bang meta, having a legend like Bloodhound be able to scan, but also see with their ultimate, you could see them glowing without having to scan, kind of acts as a counter to Bangalore, making Bloody pretty damn viable this season. And so for those reasons, I'll put Bloodhound in A tier. For the next A tier legend, we'll have Gibraltar. Gibraltar is an insanely powerful legend, but it takes a lot of responsibility to master a legend like Gibby. And so that's one of my caveats for Gibby. But even then, because they're so powerful, because they have fortification, because they have their arm shield, because Gibby has his bubble, because he has his ultimate, there's a lot of slack that he can help pick up. If you are a little bit weaker with a legend like Gibby, he kind of does the job for you. And he's great for both offensive and defensive pushes. He's great for resets. He's great for supporting your teammates. He's an all-around good legend. But he's got a fat hitbox, which is difficult for players to acclimate to. And I guess that's why I would put him at A tier and not necessarily S tier for those reasons. Another A tier legend that I'll have right now for this season is Pathfinder. You're definitely going to see a lot of Pathfinders, similar to the same reasons that I listed for Wraith. You'll see a lot of Pathfinders right now simply because he's a day one legend. A lot of people love his personality and things like that, so he's always being played. But he's a very selfish legend and a very aggressive legend too. And so if you're not fighting all the time, If you're not fluent with his grapples and how to perfect them and move with them, you're not going to get a lot out. You're not going to get a lot of value out for you and for your team. But if you can do those things, he is one of the slipperiest, most lethal legends in the game when it comes to his grapple. And plus, you will get a lot of rotational help with his ultimate, considering it got buffed a couple seasons ago and it goes stupid long. So that can help. And if you're a very aggressive player, you're definitely going to help your team out with Pathfinder. But he takes a lot of practice. If you don't know what you're doing, and if you're not creative with your plays, he might not be the legend for you. But you will see a lot of legends like Pathfinder being played this season, since he adds so much value to these team fights because he can move so quickly. So for that reason, I'll put him at A tier for this season. And for that same reason, we'll put Loba in A tier. Again, as a support legend, as a legend that has movement, as a legend that can get your teammates equipped with the weapons that they prefer using her ultimate. She's a very well-rounded legend to play that can also help, just like Pathfinder, as an anchor, as an aggressor, and she can fulfill all sorts of different roles. And you will see a lot of Lobas being played this season as well for that reason. But again, and this is coming from a Loba main with 150,000 kills. I still play Loba since I'm back on console where all my kills are. That's the only reason why I'm playing her. But while I was on PC and I didn't have a reason to play her, I found myself playing stronger legends that helped me and my teammates out way more in these fights. Loba, realistically, although she's a great anchor, she doesn't have that destructive value to her, which is so important since you're going up against nothing but destructive legends. And so that's why I'm putting her at A tier. Although she's very powerful and she's S tier for solo queuing, thinking broadly in terms of everybody, I'll have to place her in A tier right now. And the same goes for Revenant. I believe I put Revenant in S tier last season, but after his nerfs and after a legend like Conduit, which has come out this season, and that's kind of taken the community by a hold, you do see a D-ranking from S tier to A tier for Revenant, who is insanely powerful like Pathfinder when it comes to fighting, considering he has his ultimate and movement on top of that. But is he helping you in ways that S tier legends are currently helping you with? And we'll get into those reasons later. Not so much anymore since he got those nerfs. And so that's why I'm comfortable with putting him in A tier for right now. Definitely still a viable pick, and it's not a throw pick at all by any means. And I put some thought into this. If I put Gibby in A tier, I probably have to give Newcastle A tier, although I think Newcastle is slightly stronger than Gibby. He carries a lot of responsibility. And if you're good with that responsibility and you can handle it, then he's easily S tier legend. And so if you can handle that responsibility, then he definitely, I believe transcends into the S tier category. Again, as I've have to reiterate many times so you guys don't get it confused. Broadly speaking, for a large amount of the community, for whatever reason, they avoid a legend like Castle, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it has to be because of his hitbox, and it has to be because of the responsibility he carries. But if you can become semi-fluent with Newcastle, especially with a gold knockdown, especially with how crazy and chaotic some of these situations are, he's very good and very powerful, and I will not let anybody allow me to think differently about Newcastle. And on top of that, again, he's a support legend, and he can craft banners and get you and your teammates more consistent RP gains with lower negative RP loss on average. So for these reasons, I put Newcastle in A tier. Which leaves the last four, I guess. We can go in order and we'll talk about each one briefly. But these are the last four legends that you'll see being played at like a 90% pick rate almost. You'll see these legends being played almost every time you're fighting a team. There's got to be at least 30 plus of these legends at any point being played. That's the meta that exists right now. These four legends are the top four legend meta picks in Season 19. And it's for a good reason, hence why I'm putting them all in S tier. If you play one of the D tier or C tier legends, maybe start gravitating towards these S tier legends and A tier legends, and I promise you guys, your games will go a lot more smoothly. And so with Bangalore, the substance that she provides with her smokes, with her ultimate, and with her passive makes her a very well-rounded and very powerful legend. That's good for both offensive and defensive strategies. And that's pretty much goes the same with all four of these legends right here. The same for Catalyst. Even though she got nerfed recently, she's still one of the most annoying legends to fight when you're in a building. Hence why I recommend, if you play Watson, a legend like Catalyst will make a lot of intuitive sense for you guys, and it'll be a smooth transition, and you'll get a lot more value out of a legend like Catalyst than you will with Watson. So please, if you're playing Watson and you're struggling gaining and you're stuck in these ranks, you're stuck in these promo trials, try to play Catalyst. She's great for getting to endgame with her controller passive. She's great for fortifying buildings and preventing enemies' pushes with her spikes and with her door reinforcements. She's still one of my favorite legends. And on top of that, you have her ultimate, which is great for aggressive or defensive pushes. That's an all-around beautiful legend right there, and it's one of my favorite legends of all time. So Catalyst is S tier, without a doubt. Moving forward to Conduit, Season 19's newest legend. She is insane. She is insane. Regardless if you're a fighting team or a passive team, she has everything that you guys will need. And on top of that, she's a support legend, which is beautiful. You know, you get so much value out of her while still being able to take fights and while being able to be aggressive still, unlike other support legends that exist. Her tactical, being able to heal up herself while healing up one of your teammates and getting them that shield, giving them that extra health. She acts as Revenant, except Revenant only heals himself with his extra shield. But imagine a Revenant ability given to your entire team plus yourself. That makes it so difficult sometimes. I swear there are moments in this game where I take a fight against a Conduit. I swear I have to shoot her for like 5 million damage. And I have to shoot her teammate for 5 million damage too, whoever she's healing. So she's great for fighting. She's great for being defensive in a sense by healing up her teammates while retreating, supporting her teammates in that regard. And for those reasons, you're seeing Conduit being played as the #1 pick rate legend right now because she is that powerful. And that's somebody you should definitely gravitate towards if you're playing another legend and struggling with them. And then lastly, of course, we have Horizon. Horizon's been at the top of the meta for seasons now, even considering after all the nerfs that she's gotten over the years. She's still an S tier legend who's insanely powerful for the entry frag, for anchoring, for supporting, and even for defense. And remember when I talked about how this legend meta that exists currently right now is a destructive ability-based meta? Bangalore with her ultimates and smokes cause a lot of destruction. Catalyst with her walls and spikes causes a lot of chaos within buildings. It definitely turns the tide of the fight most of the time. You have Horizon with her tactical, which you can use to reposition. Use her ultimate to cause again more destruction, usually paired with grenades, and works well with other legends like Fuse. She adds value to her team is what I'm trying to say, and all 4 of these legends do that insanely well and way better than every other legend. And it doesn't take a lot of thought power to be able to play these legends. This is why S tier legends are usually called or known as crutch legends. They help assist you like a crutch assists you when you're injured, without needing to be super fluent with them. Again, they kind of do the job for you. And so for that reason, I got these legends in S tier. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my tier list for this season. I feel like it's pretty damn good, as it always is, of course. And if you enjoy the video, please hit that like and sub button. And I'll see you guys soon for my next video. Best of luck this season, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam.